There we go. See,
There we go. We did it.
we
Check us
did
out.
it. Hey, I'm so excited. Just showing my age.
Not showing your age. You
I'm over
don't
here, like, I got the glasses on and everything, and I'm like,
listen. You look good. We're young,
we're fabulous. I was just telling the
fabulous.
people behind the scenes before we got on IG Live that me and you're on Google Meet, and you looked so pretty. I love the yellow
Oh,
on you. What
thank
is your
you.
favorite color that you like to wear?
That I like to wear would have to be
Hmm.
like yellow, pink, orange, green, like bright, vibrant colors are my favorite colors I like to wear. But you know,
It's
I
pretty.
just thank you.
I love
Appreciate
it.
you.
I love it. And before you got on the line, I was also telling everybody about Change Takes Action. And every September here at the Cupcake Girls, this is what we do. We do this annually every September, and it's a vibe. And then it's a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. And
Correct.
tonight we're going to talk about that some more in detail. Asia, can you tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Cupcake Girls? What's your role and what's your pronouns?
Absolutely. My role is the donor engagement director. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be 3 years that I will have been with the Cupcake Girls in January.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's a nice
That
journey.
is. Like
I
every time my son turns 3, I turn 3 at the Cupcake Girls because he'll be 3 in October. And, I had to go right back to work after having him. Had barely had time to breastfeed, honey.
You tell your son happy birthday. Their birthday's about to come up. It's like around the corner. So that's exciting.
Yes, he already knows. Listen, he was fighting over an old birthday toy the other day. I'm like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
not here yet. Relax. He is
Exactly. Chill.
Scorpio, so they like their birthdays.
I feel it. I feel it. This is super exciting. So donor relations, what does that entail? Like, what do you do within your role?
So within my role, I do a lot of donor stewardship. I do a lot of following up. I do a lot of just relationship and donor engagement constitute meeting new donors, increasing our monthly donors, increasing just our annual donors that give year over year, and also creating like sustainability for the org from like a revenue perspective, so making sure that we are diversified with our donor base, and that I'm
Mhm.
stewarding all of our donors, whether they're major gift donors, which are 10,000 above, or smaller donors. I'm making sure that we're stewarding them properly.
That's perfect. So
And
you're
I'm
the
not doing it by
point.
myself. We have an incredible team. We have
Yeah.
volunteers. We have interns. Thank God, because
Big,
they already. I don't know if you heard the news, but they're doing some nasty. Well, not they. The presidential people are doing some nasty work to nonprofits. So they're making it a lot more challenging in how we raise money. So donor stewardship and donor engagement is going to be very important for all organizations, not just ours, but we take it very seriously. And we also build our programming around this peer-to-peer fundraising campaign, Change Takes Action, so that we don't rely on um, just like one. I don't want to say income stream. I'm talking like to business, but just like one way. Like we don't want to exclusively rely on grants, right? And then like if the president pulls funding, now we're not funded, right? So that's what like diversifying how we take in our donations, because this peer-to-peer annual campaign has been going on, what, 13 or 14 years for the Cupcake Girls now,
right.
and it's how we've kind of been able to sustain and build and grow over time. So I definitely recommend campaigns of similar to this for all, not like for smaller nonprofits, because it does help with getting the work done, because you need money to do the work. This myth that you don't need money to actually run a nonprofit is
Right.
just crazy.
That's perfect. So you are the perfect person to talk about Change Takes Action and what is peer-to-peer fundraising. Again, can you tell the people out there just plain like what is exactly peer-to-peer fundraising?
Yeah, so peer-to-peer fundraising is basically when like supporters raise money by excuse me, by sharing our mission with their networks. But if I could just be more descriptive, I would like for you to think of it as like ripples in a pond. So when you drop a
Mm,
stone in a pond, those ripples expand outwardly and then you get all these circles and it's really, really pretty. So that's exactly what happens when someone believes in our mission and they believe in it so deeply that they want to share it with their own circle. So the Cupcake Girls isn't just asking strangers for support, we're asking the people that already know and like us to ask their network for support. So it's coming from a trusted place. And it's also
yeah.
introducing us to other networks
That's
and other
dope.
communities.
In other communities. And it's so simple. And I love the fact that you brought up, like, instead of depending on grant funding, we're literally depending on each other and spreading the mission. And so it's so
Yes.
personable. It's actually like you really feel like you're doing something. And you're doing it for someone that you care about, right? Because if you care about the mission, you pass that word along, you kind of care about me and what I'm into. That's kind of how it works?
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, like I recently went to kind of like a nonprofit leadership retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And millennials and Gen Zers, like fundraising is a very like the psychology around fundraising for millennials and or excuse me, not fundraising, the psychology around giving for millennials and Gen Zers is that they actually want to give when they give more or they give period when they know, like, and trust you. So versus the other generations before us,
Mm-hmm.
they had a different methodology around giving. So I really enjoy that data because that only adds value and validation for why we do peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. And to be honest, most people have seen it. They probably just didn't know it was called a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. Like if you ever see someone on Instagram or doing a GoFundMe trying to raise money for a lost one or a loved one or a pet or another cause and they're saying, hey, I'm doing a fundraiser for my birthday through
Mm-hmm.
Instagram or through Facebook and stuff. Those are all examples of peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. They're just, it's just an individual doing it for maybe another individual or a cause, but it's the same kind of
Approach.
methodology. Yeah.
Right. That's dope. I didn't even think of it like that. See, you dropping gems already, man. It's going to be a good show tonight. And then, so why does peer-to-peer fundraising work? I think you kind of touched on it a little bit about the psychology between millennials and zillennials and why it
No,
works.
they call them Gen Zers.
Gen
But
Zers. Yeah.
yeah, so
Is there other
peer,
reasons why you think it works?
yeah, because trust is currency. So peer-to-peer fundraising works is because your friends, your coworkers, and your family members are saying, "Hey, this organization changed my life," or from my perspective, this organization is really dope because they support these people, or I've seen firsthand that this organization has done so and so. That carries more weight than us just telling you what we do. So that is why peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns work. That's why they're successful and um, people want to know and they want someone to tell them that it's real. You know what I'm saying? Especially in today's world where like, this phone, you don't know what's real anymore. AI, all kinds of stuff happening. You're like, is this real? Did they really do that? Are they really helping? Are they really serving? So being able to say that, and we usually have a pretty solid campaign where it's like hundreds of fundraisers are telling you that we're here and we're doing this. And like I said, I'm only coming up on 3 years. The Cupcake Girls has been doing this for 13 years. Hundreds of people have fundraised, thousands of people have fundraised for the organization in support of trafficking survivors and sex workers nationally and globally.
That's dope. And so I was thinking the trust makes it different than traditional fundraising methodologies. Is there any other thing that separates, yeah, peer-to-peer fundraising? Is there another, what am I trying to say? Is there like what sets it apart from any other traditional way to fundraise, you think, other than the trust? Is there any more stuff that makes it stand out, that makes it different from traditional fundraising?
Yeah, well, what the examples that I gave are kind of reasons why it stands out in terms of your peer or your network or your community doing the ask. But
Hmm.
but it's also less transactional. And a lot of people are afraid of sales, right? So when you think about fundraising
Mm.
and having to ask, people are afraid of sales. People are scared to ask anybody for anything. I don't know where this started, and I honestly don't know why I wasn't born with that fear, but I'm kind of happy I wasn't because I have
Teach
no
me.
shame, honey. I'm asking, okay? I grew up in an era where closed mouths don't get fed and empty
Period.
hands don't touch no bread. So I
Mm.
feel like I have no problem with asking, but because a lot of people do, peer-to-peer fundraising takes away, well, it's supposed to take away the anxiety around it because you're just asking your peers. We're not asking you to take on my role in donor engagement or fundraising. Like I have a job to do, right? So I actually go and cold fundraise. I go into rooms where I know nobody and everybody's a stranger, and I'm introducing myself and building relationships and finding out who people are and, you know, creating those 7 touch points for a donor before I create an ask, right? I'm doing all of these other methods of raising money. Or there's other ways where we're writing grants, right? That's another way of raising money. Or there's even just our website, right? You can go in and give anytime you want to our website. There's car washes. And I mean, there's so many different ways in terms of how one could fundraise. But the real beauty of peer-to-peer is truly you're relying on your community to support you. And you're saying, hey, I support this organization. Will you help me support this organization? This is what
Mhm.
they do. And we provide you all the tools. So we give you the scripts, we give you a website, we give you the tools, we give you the resources, and we even make it fun. We send you a welcome box. And along the way, you're able to win prizes and get cool swag. And we try to not make it boring, have a celebration to kick it off, have a celebration to close it out, because the mindset is, yes, I can go out and say to a donor, could you give me $1,000 or $10,000?
Right.
But if I have if I have 1,000 followers and each one of my followers gives me $1,000, that's $1,000 too, right? But
Right.
imagine each one of my followers now makes their $1 a reoccurring donation. That's way more than $1,000, right? So
Right.
the impact is just way more exponential. So peer-to-peer fundraising can be very beneficial to create a lot more impact in the community and do some really dope work.
That's amazing. And again, you guys, just to remind you, the peer-to-peer fundraising campaign that we're specifically talking about is Change Takes Action. This is something that the Cupcake Girls do every September. You said it's been around for 14 years, and it's an amazing fundraising campaign that we like to do. And we like to reach out to our network and ask them to, donate and support us with the cause and the work that we do for our participants. Um, let's see. I'm reading from my notes, y'all. Do not make fun of me. I
No one's gonna make fun of you. I have
know.
notes too to
I
keep me on
know.
focus. We were having a whole conversation about how I could just go, like, what sometimes happens is when, like, I've been doing fundraising for a long time, so even though I've been with the Cupcake Girls for just only approaching 3 years, like I am like seasoned investor relations, so I'm like really well versed in asking for money. So sometimes when I get excited about the ask, it's like, slow down. Just talk to the
Oh.
people about the one thing and do not start overwhelming them with all of the ways that you can skin the cat. So
But no,
tonight we're just talking about peer-to-peer fundraising, but we should make this a series. I mean, we should
I know.
talk about other stuff.
This is super dope. I'm learning so much already. And shout out to Love Inc. Hey, how are you? I like to sometimes like to pay attention to people as much as I can in the chat, but we get so deep in the conversation. I'm not ignoring y'all. I see y'all. Keep showing us love, drop them hearts. And yeah, thank you for joining us for tonight. So far, what has been a highlight? What's since you've been doing Change Takes Action for so far 3 times, what are like one of the highlights during the campaign that you can remember that you would love to share?
Let me think. A highlight during the campaign. Well,
Mm-hmm.
last year, I think my highlight during the campaign was empowering my team to do something difficult. I really
Mm.
believe that the skill of asking for money, whether just period, needs to be taught. So I had the privilege of doing that with a team of my friends and my community. And I really enjoyed that last year because they faced fears and did some really incredible work. And I was so, so proud of them. And I'm gonna go through that this year as well. But I just think, especially during campaign season, like last year was campaign season, there was a lot going on. So I'm really proud of that on a just volunteer, because everyone's a volunteer besides like the staff, everybody that's on our team are volunteers. They don't have to do this, they believe in the work and they want to support. So I was very grateful for that. And then in terms of giving, I just was like, I'm always grateful when people give. Like, I don't never take I never take for granted that someone owes me something or someone has to give. So the
Right.
gratitude that I felt for like KME Architects for supporting us, and
Oh,
the Tuttleman Foundation for supporting us, and Matrix for supporting us, and there was lots of other organizations. I'm probably missing names, Miss Alicia Taylor. Like I hope I'm not forgetting people, but there was a lot of people last year who were just generous, and I was so grateful. And I just made a post and I was like, if you don't mind, like, sent them a little Facebook DM, and they did, and they showed up and they supported me, and I really felt good about that. Like that made me feel, because I don't like, there's like when you think about my people, like I'm like, I'm going to them about real estate stuff. Like when I'm asking though, certain groups of people for money, it's not necessarily for work. So that was pretty cool to feel supported by some of my investor population.
that's dope. And it's really gratifying and it gives you
Yeah,
hope. Like, wow, like you actually become pleasantly surprised. You're like, wow, that's
yeah,
super dope. And it really reminds you you are a part of the community. Like your
right.
friends and your family and your work colleagues, that's your community. You don't have to be like a full-fledged philanthropist or anything like that. You don't have to be like some socialite. Like you really be surprised who actually shows up for you and actually care about you and that want to support a good cause that you are a part of. So that's what your story just gave me like right now. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and don't count people's pockets. Like people really do want to help their communities. And I think
Mhm.
that for some folks do it with time. Like I have friends who don't necessarily have a whole bunch of money to give, but they give with their time. And when I didn't have money, I gave with my time. And now I
Mm,
have a little bit of money. Like if I could give $20, $10, I do it. Obviously
right,
I dream to be able to make larger gifts. But that is a plan, right? I believe those folks who make large gifts, they've planned that. They put that in their wills. They put that in their business plan. They put that in their legacy plan, and they put that in their culture of giving. Like a lot of these corporate givers, like I'm not going to name the casinos, but some of the casinos and the institutional foundations and these really wealthy individuals that have foundations, they've put that in their legacy, that they have a legacy of giving. So even whether their kids want to or not, it's a requirement because it's a part of their trust.
right,
So I just feel like there's those people which are different than regular people. So just the average person who is also trying to survive what we going through right now, when
right.
they take the time to say, hey, you know what? I'll click on your link and I will give what I have to give. That means the world to me. Like for real, for real. That means the world to me. And we are a national organization. So I just want to make it clear, like, even though we're headquartered in Nevada, we started here in Nevada, we have another location in Southwest Washington, Oregon. We are a national organization. We have participants in over 30 something states. So I think that when it comes to giving, even when I was sharing, I'm from New York originally, when I was sharing it with my New York friends, and then I lived in Southern California for a while, and I was sharing it with those folks, I had to make sure they understood, like, we have a board all over the country. We have a national organization where we're serving participants all over the country. So yes, you're impacted. And trafficking is it's a global issue. It's not a local issue. But for sure, Nevada does need to take it seriously because I think we jumped from number 2 to number 1 in trafficking. All right, we're getting derailed. Ask me another question.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get on my
We got deep. We got deep right
we
quick.
got deep. We got deep really quick.
But that's actually a good segue because my next question to you was what kind of care does each fundraiser actually support? I think you touched on a little bit of like what actually the money goes to. Can you give us a little bit more about that as where exactly the money goes to when you do donate for the peer-to-peer campaign?
Yeah, so With nonprofits, there's something called like restricted funds and non-restricted funds. A lot of times
Mhm.
when you're filling out grants and you're raising money from an individual and they're major gifts, it's usually for a thing for an organization to do, which are mostly, like I want to say 90% of the time, let's just say 85% of the time, it's programs, right?
Mhm.
85% of the time, organizations want to fund programs because the programs are the front line. The front line of every organization is their programs. It's how we're serving participants, right? So, in terms of what a peer-to-peer fundraiser does, is it gives us a reserve for non-restricted funds because as an organization, we also need to pay for things operationally. We need to be able to do the things that we want to do and serve our participants how we want to serve them. Like one of the biggest things that the Cupcake Girls love to do is our micro grants, right? We want to be able to give micro grants, but we don't have a donor that says, here is a pile of money and this is all the money you can use for micro grants. So we raise and do this peer-to-peer fundraising campaign so that we can give our participants micro grants, which is cash in hand, which the bus passes work and the therapy is working and all the other things that we do in advocacy is working. But when you're able to also give out cash, that is a value add when people are going through stuff. It sometimes fills the gap for different things. And that also, and that it goes into that pot.
Right.
Um, but there's a lot of things, I mean, we do. We have a free store. A lot of the things in our free store, yeah, we've gotten grants to support and supply some things from our free store, but then there's just times when participants ask for stuff and we buy it.
Yeah. And that's what
There's
your money goes to. It's the
and
unrestricted funding.
that's what your money is going to. So I just want folks to know that we are operating a very niche organization, and we truly meet people where they are. So we don't say, hey, you don't need this. We don't give people little travel size, sample size shampoos and conditioner. Like you're getting full size bottles of things to make you feel a sense of dignity and respect and all of that. Like we're letting you shop and not telling you a limit on like, hey, you can only have one bag full of stuff. Like empty out the free store. Like we're constantly trying to restock it, right? And so for us it's really just about sustainability and being able to do the things that that applies to our core values, right? And
Right.
that is one of those things, to be able to have unrestricted funds so that we can support our micro grant program, support our free store program, and also support staff members who are not part of the who are not part of programs. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because this is a business and you have to run it, and everybody who's on programs is on programs, but I'm not a program expense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah.
So, and that leads to my next question. I think you touched on it a little bit. The question was, how do these funds translate to real change? I think you already listened, you kind of listed, like, how does it translate to real change for survivors and workers? But if there's any more you'd like to share, let's go down the line because I feel like there's even more. Like, what does that actual change look like?
Yeah, so it looks like, imagine a web, right? Imagine a web, and the web supports and catches people when they fall, and then it helps them like climb back up. So like I'm thinking spider web too, like not the World Wide Web.
Right.
Um
I hate you.
just for clarity, right? I'm not
The World Wide
because
Web.
I'm sorry. You're like, she's definitely a elder
Yeah,
millennial.
yeah, yeah. You're giving it.
No
You're
one
giving
had to, I didn't need to clarify that, right? No, everybody knew. But no, imagine a web
it.
of support, and it catches folks when they fall and it needs help climbing. So a trauma-informed approach means that we're not just providing services, we're restoring agency and dignity. So when someone leaves our program, they become advocates, they can create generational change for themselves and their family. And that is not a one size fits all solution. So it recognizes that someone might need a job skill and childcare and therapy and advocacy support all at once to meet the whole person's need and not just one piece of their story. So I think that I hope I answered that question in terms
No,
of like, okay.
no, that was fabulous because I'm like, I know there's something because you talked to it a little bit in the beginning, like really like day to day practical what the funds actually help with. But I'm like, sometimes people like to see it from like just is it what's the word I'm looking for? Granular level,
Yeah,
like
some people like to see it from a traditional approach where other agencies may focus on one thing at a time.
right.
And we don't try to tell people that they can't do that multiple things at a time. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying? And I
Hmm.
actually like that about us because two things can be true. I can for sure need a job and I could for sure need therapy. Why do I have to pick?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I could for sure, need to learn how to build my job resume skills and maybe need some parenting classes because, I dealt with some issues with substance abuse and other things, right? So I get irritated. So two
Hmm.
things can be true. So I just think that traditional approaches sometimes only does one thing at a time. And we are in a culture where it's a lot, we're in the age of information, I think it's called, where there's just a lot of access to information, so people are seeing things all over. So it's natural for the mind to go, hey, I want to do, or I'm thinking about multiple things. And that's why, programs pairs you with an advocate or a case manager. And then you have that person, that accountability partner, as well as that support system to kind of like go through what that looks like. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's fire. Thank you so much, Asia. And again, we're talking about how your donation, how your gift actually impacts our participants and actually moves our mission forward and support the work that we do here at the Cupcake Girls during our peer-to-peer fundraising campaign that we throw every September. And speaking of that, matching. Matching. Can you please tell everybody during Change Take Action, what does the matching system look like? I have it here in my notes, and I feel like it's super important because I feel like that will really double the impact and actually make the
Oh
donation go
yeah,
even
matching
further.
is bomb. Matching helps
Yeah.
you hit your goal. So I always tell my team members, if you set a $500 goal and you get one donor to do 250 during matching, there's your $500 goal met.
Yeah.
So matching is like fundraising happy hour. So every Tuesday and Thursday at a specific time, I don't know if we put out our all of our days, but I think they're usually Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. We've already pre asked donors and sponsors to support matching for this campaign. So we ask them to double whatever comes in during that window of time. So let's just say it's
Mhm.
25, it becomes 50. It's 50, it becomes 100. Your 200 becomes 400. So, in terms of your goal, that is a great way to double your impact really, really quickly. And I love matching. And you know how many times that I've been like, I try the sweet spot to set up matching is to get them to ask them in advance
Right.
because it's hard to ask during matching. Because if it starts at 5 and you ask at 5, then you get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
kind of like by the time you get a reply, it might be 6, and that's happened to me before where the donation came through, but the money was gone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it didn't get matched. So it's just fun things to do. Again, fundraising doesn't have to be boring. It does not have to be traditional. It doesn't have to be one size fits all. So we just try to keep it fun. Keep it interesting. Just add a little bit more swag on it. So I think that for us, and for others, I know we're probably not the only one out there using mashing, but that's what it is.
That's awesome. And yeah, so right now we're talking about Change Takes Action. We're getting prepared for it. The kickoff starts September 12th all the way to October 3rd. It's going to be cracking. Make sure you check out our IG story where we're going to post up anyone that's fundraising during that time. Everyone's either going to do an event or they do something special to contribute to Change Take Action. I know I'm throwing a fundraising event. I'm going to do like a brunch. It's going to be super cute. And so we will share all of that information in the story so you can support each fundraiser and what they're doing during Change Take Action. Um, how can folks actually Change Take Action is like around the corner. I think it's like not next week, but the week after. So if anything, if a person wants to become a fundraiser for our next Change Take Action next year, what can they do? Like how can they get involved?
Well, it's not too late to get involved now.
Oh,
So don't
okay.
let the lie fool you, okay?
You're
If
right.
you want to join a fundraising team now, just DM us. tell them you want to join Asia's team, you know? And we're called Baked with Purpose. You saw that plug? You
No,
saw that
no,
plug?
or you can join the So Icing team as well.
Okay, that's Kiana's team.
That's fun.
let us
Kiana,
let
I
us plug
wasn't
our
saying
teams
So
really
Icy.
quickly. So if you want to join our team, you definitely can still, there's definitely still time to join a team. We haven't closed that.
Cool.
We're a nonprofit, so we can't turn money down. Okay, let's just
Right.
be clear. There is always room for donation, but truthfully, get engaged with us. I mean, follow our content like 365 days a year to see the reality of our work. We share resources, we share roundups, we share community spotlights, we share behind the scene glimpses of how we operate. It's ongoing education about trauma informed care, community builders, sex work versus trafficking, and you're capable of giving at any time, and you could be a creative fundraiser. Like, I have some really amazing friends in the cannabis industry that they always just do their own events. Sometimes they invite me, sometimes they don't, but they call me and be like, hey Asia, I have a check for you, we fundraise for the Cupcake Girls. And I'm like, you guys are effing dope, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? So um they see us, and I'm grateful, and I have a lot of gratitude that not just they, you guys all see us. And the Cupcake Girls has been doing some incredible work for a really, really long time. So I'm standing on the foundation of what was built before me. So I'm feeling like a little spoiled here.
Right.
But yeah, you can get engaged with us anytime. Our website is available, our Instagram is available, and Kiana and I are definitely available.
Yes, absolutely. And we also have a gratitude report that we release every year. So it
Oh
can do a
yeah.
reflection about with stats and like how we actually impacted the community that we serve. And that could just give you like a summarized roundup of what we done for that previous year. So that's actually, I find that information very, very helpful, especially if you're a person that's more, intrigued by numbers and like to see it in, dollar signs, percentages. So we do have that as well on our website. You can go to thecupcakegirls.org, and I forgot what tab. I forgot. But yeah, you'll find it's a tab. It's called Gratitude Report, and you can look at that. It's really nice, simple, easy reading. You can see our impact that we do from last year. So stuff like resources like that actually helps out a lot too.
Right.
Yes, yes. And I think that is all the questions I have for you tonight, Asia. You did a great job. I didn't see not one beam of sweat. Is there anything else you would like to share with the people? Anything else about Change Take Action?
Um, Let me check my notes.
Yeah, take your time. And shout out to everybody that's been joining us on a live, just dropping in, dropping out. This is going to be posted later on our grid, on our Instagram grid. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and stopping in and waving. We appreciate everyone joining us on these lives. It's really amazing to see everyone come in and just get, little gems here and there. Asia did an amazing job telling us about peer-to-peer fundraising.
I think if I can leave with anything, I want folks to feel included in our mission. I want folks to know that their life matters, their healing matters, and we're going to act like it. What we do and the work that we do for our participants is centered around our core values, and loving without an agenda, or support, excuse me, without an agenda is one of our core values. So fundraising is very this fundraising campaign is a big campaign for us. Change Takes Action is us displaying our hope in action, right? We're not wishing that something can happen, we're actually doing the work to make something happen. And there's also just a myth that you need a big platform to make a big impact, and that is 100% false. And I want you to know that at the Cupcake Girls, we are grateful for all of your impact, all of your donation, even if it's a share. Like, if you're just not in a position to give and you share a post, you share an event, you share this live, you tell folks, hey, from September 12th to October 3rd, the Cupcake Girls is doing a dope fundraiser. You should see if your business can get behind them. That would mean the world to us, because your business could partner with us. Your favorite bar could do a drink donated to us. Your favorite restaurant could pick a menu item donated to us. And that would just be an incredible, that would be, worth its weight in gold as well. So I just want to leave everybody with that. And I'm easy. I'm outside on this internet. Okay. This digital real estate, I'm all over it. Okay.
Not you
I
outside on this internet.
I
That
am
is
outside on this internet.
wild. I'm
Because
gonna
I think
use that.
sometimes the people think because you're like on the internet, it makes it look like you're just like outside. It's like,
I
no,
am.
I'm not, it's actually not. Since I've been more focused on like my brand and the work and being very intentional, I've actually been a lot more inside and intentional about like content and things like that. So I haven't necessarily been outside, but I'm just saying I'm very available to my community. I never want to be out of reach for my community with everything. I think what we're doing in terms of sharing our fundraising peer-to-peer campaign is phenomenal. I hope a whole bunch of people do it. Like the same way I'm asking you guys to be on my team and help me with the Cupcake Girls, I'd be honored. There's a couple organizations out that I've already told this years ago, like y'all should do it peer-to-peer. I would fundraise for you because I believe in you. Like I think you guys are dope.
Yes.
So I just think that it's a, generosity is a spirit, and I believe people should just, operate on a spirit of generosity. I can't tell you what to do, but that is how I operate. And yeah, that's all I got, you guys.
That's the vibe. Thank you so much, Asia. This was an amazing conversation. Again, you guys can go to the link in our bio and you can click on Change Takes Action 2025 and you can donate directly to our campaign page. If you want to join a team, please feel free to reach out to us via DM. There's still some, teams that would love to have some members, some extra members on their team to fundraise with us during Change Takes Action. Change Takes Action kicks off at September 12th all the way to October 3rd. Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hey,
I
wait,
don't know who that is, but I don't have admin access, so I can't at them. Can you say hi to them? Hey, sir. Lovers. Underscore hot underscore 47K.
hey, thank you so much for joining us. Nice to internet meet you. And we are outside here on the internet. It is the World Wide Web, so we are technically outside.
Not the
So,
World Wide Web.
so
I
we're
need this. I need this for some behind the scenes. I can't believe I said the World Wide Web. Lord.
it's it's all right. We understand. We have a lot of wisdom when it used to be called the World Wide Web. So
Listen.
listen.
Funny. All right. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much. I
Thank
I
you.
I value the time that I have with you, Ken. I value you, and this was incredible. You are amazing at what you do. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll be trying. I'll be trying
Okay.
to be a host,
You you are incredible. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
All
right.
right, y'all. Catch us next
Bye.
time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.
Good night. Peace.